Well, hey, thanks everyone for joining me. I've got Aaron Lawler, I've got Lisa Hutt, I've got Mike Bayo. Everybody's joining me today for the topic of what in the heck makes construction accounting different than other types of accounting. So we have a really good there's a testimonial on our YouTube page with Story Construction, and there's a comment in there from I believe it was Amy Edwardson, who's on their accounting team. And she says, we like to think that construction accounting is more difficult than other types of accounting. So I figured you guys have a ton of experience and I wanted to pick your brain. So what truly is different about construction accounting than normal accounting?
Well, I would say, the first thing is mainly different is you have different methods of accounting you can use. So depending on the size and if you're allowed, for tax reasons, you might use like when you complete a job, you recognize your revenue and your expenses at that time, or as you go throughout the job, which is like percent of completion method. So there's different methods you could pick in accounting that determine how your revenue and your expenses are, what period they're put in. So that's a little bit of a different mindset than other just basic accrual accounting.
And it's very specialized. There's a lot of unique terms. Count like Lisa said, special accounting requirements. You just don't see these types of things across other industries. All these unique terms we had to learn: WIP, over under billing, committed costs, retainage, vendor compliance. Just stuff that over the counter commercial software packages can't handle, and usually find users who have those are doing those types of stuff outside of the system.
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of legality and a lot of checking and a lot of tracking, and operations and accounting are really tied together. So in other industries, you have, you create an invoice for some parts or some work you do, and pretty much operations is doing their thing. Accounting gets some sort of work order or something to invoice. But with operations and accounting, there's, a change to the contract. There's billable rates to jobs. There's change orders and commitments and contracts. And so they have to be tightly knit in order for
Inflexible.
flexible. Yeah.
Every job is different, every contract's different, every state's different. You have unions, you have non-unions, you just have across the whole country just so many different options.
Workers'
So
compensation. Yep. Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
most of my experience has been construction accounting. I also did some healthcare accounting, but one of the things is, like Mike said, is the over under billing, and I think Lisa touched on it too. But because a construction contract can span years, that's why the over under billing is important, because you only recognize the revenue that you earned in a year for tax purposes. So you have to keep track of whether you underbilled, because if you underbilled, you may have to recognize more revenue than you actually received. So that's something that is important to always keep track of.
It makes sense. Yeah, and it's always
That's a huge point, Aaron, because the cross years thing I think is a great point with the uniqueness of this industry. Is it's not just all right, fiscal year ends December, let's move on to the new year, and all right, click the button in QuickBooks and we're done. No, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, I think it's so varied too. It seems to me that there's, you can have those multi-year projects if you're a company, and you can also have the multi-week projects or a month-long project. So it seems to me that there's like this wide variety from a single company could have too. So I think that kind of adds another bit of complexity to it, because you not only have to have the ability to handle those, multi-year jobs and kind of the requirements that Aaron was just talking about, but also the flip side of that, which is, being able to handle the requirements of short jobs too.
There are associations, in your state and your localities that, like CFMA, for example, that's a good resource to use to learn construction accounting. Very good resource, actually. And you need to also understand the tax laws that go with construction accounting, because there can be variances in GAAP and tax in different methods you use. So I think CFMA, again, great resource to start out if you're new to this.
And we haven't even touched payroll.
Yeah. So and Mike's really, and Aaron are really skilled at that with some of our accounting softwares. And it is with certified payroll, if you're in federal jobs or you're in any sort of certification of payroll, been through a few of those audits, and they're not fun. So if you don't understand what you're doing, you definitely want someone who does.
Even a lot of the big payroll
Mhm.
software packages out there can't handle the needs of
handle
the
it,
construction
yep.
company. So a lot of our clients who may use those packages still end up starting the process through the payroll systems, because we can do a lot of the certified union reporting that just those big firms can't handle, or can't handle across the board. So
Mhm.
that becomes handy.
Exactly.
Another-
Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I was just going to say, another thing is you want to use software that can help you automate how you allocate your costs, your payroll costs, because it's going to be different sometimes job to job, and sometimes just between job related payroll and administration related payroll. And you want something that can automate that allocation for you, because otherwise it's a big, big job.
Manual journal Excel sheet hell, I imagine.
I always use this example when I'm talking to people about this type of accounting and what I do, and it's like my degree is accounting. Besides an initial accounting fundamentals class, my whole career is based on one class I took called cost accounting. And it's my whole life is based on this one class that was just kind of like an afterthought, in the program. And it's like it's just always, it always gets to me every time. It's just funny.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, when you say cost accounting, it's kind of interesting. Like with construction accounting, you have jobs and cost codes, so you almost have a separate set of cost books, like separate set of books for jobs. And cost accounting, that just triggered that thought. So if you see a bunch of codes all over the place when you're first learning construction accounting, it's just kind of like its own separate job book. So
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's kind of almost like a second set of books, but it's not obviously. It ties back to your general ledger and your single source of truth. But yeah, no, I think it's a lot of those things and those elements, from whether it's costing jobs to the payroll, and even down to certain states have certain requirements. I mean, I know that Illinois is one of the big ones. I talked to a customer that they just stopped bidding work in Illinois because of the requirements.
Jeez.
That the reporting requirements. And hopefully with a couple custom reports and things like that, we can get them back on the right track. But to bidding work there, but it's pretty big. I mean, if you if you can't, that that opens up a whole nother world of opportunity if you have the right software and the right tools to help you get there. So I think that's the other aspect that oftentimes people focus on. How much is this software going to cost me? And at the end of the day, it's like, well, how much business is it going to cost you? Really, because at the end of the day, you could be bidding in other states, you could be bidding other work. If you had the ability to cost your jobs properly and report payroll properly and all of that good stuff. So
you could be doing more work, bringing more jobs on with less staff. And
Absolutely.
I think that's
you don't want to have to manage your software. You want to be out bidding jobs and winning work, and letting the software do things for you.
Yep, I totally agree. Well, hey, thanks everyone for joining me. I appreciate the time. And as you can see, it's Christmas time. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, everyone. And Here's to a good 2023 for you, your families, and all of your coworkers and staff.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for